What's up, Buttercup? It is I, it is me, it is she, Barbie P. And welcome back to my channel. Of course, we're going to jump into the video. Y'all already know. You already know what I'm about to say. I'm not a doctor, a dietitian, Jesus, or a nutritionist. So I always recommend you seek professional help. Get the help that you need on your weight loss, fat loss journey. However, I'm just a girly that lost 107 pounds. So I just give the tips and tricks that help me out, and hopefully they will help you out. But I just want to talk. And this is not to throw no shade at anyone. But let's get real. Not everyone has the time or energy or lifestyle to even hit 20,000 steps a day. And guess what? That does not mean you are lazy or uncommitted. In this video, I'm just going to break down the truth about sustainable weight loss, the comparison trap, and how to reach your goals without walking like it's a full-time job. It's okay. I'm going to tell you something, Buttercup. I see the trends. I see the 20K steps a day. But I have to work. I have a life. And I am not about to walk for 3 hours a day to feel like I'm worthy. Okay, I'm just not. And I remember, I think I had a challenge the beginning of this year, and I was doing like 14K steps a day. And for me, that lifestyle, if I had my walking pad, it was somewhat obtainable. But once my walking pad died, I realized it was hard for me to get those steps in. And even with me cleaning up, walking around the house, trying to, park the car way over yonder to walk into the grocery store during allergy season and my eyes falling out, my nose, dripping, I still wasn't getting like 14K steps or 20K steps. And then something that I realized too, what they don't tell you, Buttercup, is whatever activity level you decide, you have to keep up with that in order to keep the weight off. So what I would notice is on the day, like pretty much my challenge, it wasn't 20K, but it was like 14 to 16K. And what I realized, I was walking literally on my walking pad an hour and a half to 2 hours a day and working a full-time job. And then I was working out, training, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours training. So essentially, I was spending almost 3 hours training and walking. And I tell you, that was not fun. And when I missed the day, it seemed like my stomach would just poof. Like I would have somewhat abs. But if I missed a day of 14K steps, it was like instant poof. And then what they don't tell you either in Buttercup, the more cardio you're doing, which is like, walking to an extent, even if you're just like walking briskly, it's a cute form of cardio. The more cardio you do, you have to keep that up. But then your body gets adjusted to that, Buttercup. So then you have to do more. So you either have to do more steps and eat less, or you have to do more steps and eat less, or like eat more, but then still do more, like do a whole bunch more steps. Because I was doing, and I'm just telling y'all, I was doing like 14 to 16K steps, and I was training and only eating about 1,200 calories. I know, it was crazy. But what happened was I lost a couple of pounds, but once my body got adjusted to that, I had to maintain 14 to 16,000 steps a day. And then I would have to almost eat less. So instead of 1,200 calories, I would probably have to move down to like almost 1,100 calories. And still do the same walking, or if not more, just to see something on the scale move. So they don't tell you that. So if you're walking 20,000 steps a day and all of a sudden you decide to stop, or you get too tired or whatever, like that weight can kind of pop back up faster because your body is used to moving more. So you want to be realistic on your journey because let's be real about it. But anyway, why the 20K trend isn't for everyone is because it's a trend. Some people do it because it fits their lifestyles, like influencers, dog walkers, or trainers. But for 95% of people, that actually work, especially if you're an adult, a mom or student, it's just not practical. And I would say this, like if you have like an at-home job, I can somewhat see you getting 20,000 steps a day. But like I said, for the average person, you would really have to work that in. And speaking of that, one of my coworkers, I was talking with her, and she was saying that she had gained, a couple of pounds. And I was like, girl, I can't even tell. She's so snatched. I couldn't even tell. But she was like, she had gained a couple of pounds because when she was living in New York, she was getting steps in easily. So she said she was getting 14 to 20K steps daily because, you have to walk everywhere. And with that, she said she was able to eat whatever she wanted because she was walking all the time. Once she moved to where I live at, it's not country town, but you definitely need a car. You cannot walk to the grocery store. You cannot walk to get food. I mean, you can if you don't have a car, but it's like you're going to be driving a lot. And she said she instantly noticed how much weight she started, just gaining. She stopped at like the kind of 7 to 10-ish pound mark. But she said she started noticing, how much weight she was gaining because she's not walking as much. So she says she has to now make time, for walks, and she has to start working out because she never had to work out because when she was in New York, she was walking all the time. So there's some places where you are able to, get 20K steps. But like I said, for the average person, that's not really realistic unless you work from home or you just got that kind of time. I don't have it yet. I do want to try the trend. But again, I ain't trying to be doing that forever. So yes. I would say this, don't confuse volume with discipline. Walking 20K steps doesn't equal more dedicated. It's not about how much you move, but how consistently you move. 6,000 steps, 6,000 intentional steps with solid nutrition is better than 20K steps randomly and then still eating like trash. Just saying. You want to do what is consistent. You want to do what's easy for you, to stay consistent in the long run. Can you do this for the rest of your life? Can you do this for the next 10 years? If you don't see yourself walking 20K steps for the next 10 years, then Buttercup, you might not need to be doing it. Because what actually works for fat loss is, of course, that CD. And I'm not talking about the CDs from back in the day that used to get scratched up. And if you were trying to have your CD player and you were walking home from the school bus, you had to make sure it was even. Because if your CD player wasn't even, it would scratch up. Yeah, okay. But anyway, the CD is your calorie deficit, resistant training, and of course, eating nutrient-dense meals, daily movement that fits your life. So I know everyone says 10K steps, but if you're getting 7 to 10K steps, that's good. Or 30 minutes of getting your walk on, that's good. Quality over quantity. Again, what can you do today and be consistent in it? Because once I started tracking my steps, I realized I was only getting maybe 4 to 5,000-ish steps. And honestly, I worked my way up to now 10K steps. But I didn't just I'm going to get 10K steps. No, it was I went from 4K to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7.5, 8K. And now I used to try to shoot for 12 and 14K, but again, I found what works for me and pretty much doing anywhere from 8,500 to maybe 12,000 is fine. But for the most part, I get 8,500 to 10K. And that's what works for me, and I can keep up with it without feeling like it's a job. Because one thing is, when you have to do so much, it's hard to stick to it. If you got to do 20K steps a day and you're training and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're not used to doing that, that can be a lot to try to like upkeep. And now I'm just going to move to this part of the video where it's how to pretty much avoid the comparison trap. Your life is not their life. The goal is sustainability, not extremes. Ask yourself, can you do this for the next 6 months? If not, that's not your plan. Create a realistic routine. Now, I will say this. I used to be a 5 times a week girly and, trying to train 5 times a week. And any gym rats or gym mice know the average time in the gym is at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I was training 5 times a week for an hour and a half to almost 2 hours and trying to get all these steps in. And what I realized, I was tired. And because I had to get all these steps in and because I had to train for so long and so many times a week, I had to get up early. And there are days I work evening shifts, there are days I work morning shifts, and then there are days I am off, but I'm simply adulting. And it was just becoming stressful, and I ended up starting to gain weight. And then I ended up plateauing because I was just doing too much and my body was stressed. So now my realistic routine, here we go. 8,500 steps minimum to 10K. But really, it's just 8,500 minimum. So most of the time I hit 10K, but if I get 8,500, I'm good. I just want to maintain my calorie deficit. And then that's one thing people don't tell you is the more you train, the hungrier you are because you are putting out so much energy. And if you're not getting the sleep that you need, you're actually going to crave more, Buttercup. So sometimes some of your cravings is because you're sleep deprived. So that was a lot. But anyway, now I train 4 times a week. If I do an extra day, it's literally just Pilates, or I'll get on my elliptical for about 45 minutes. But I'm not trying to do too much. I'm literally doing what I can. And if I have the energy to do something extra, I will. But honestly, I just choose to do a couple more steps than doing like a whole full workout. Now, will I get back to doing, 5 days a week? We'll see. Only the Lord knows. But this is just how I stay active without chasing high step counts. And I take time for a walk. Like, I make time for a walk. I walk around the house, obviously. I have a little stepper that helps me out. And I also have my elliptical. Man, it's not like steps, but it's somewhat like steps. Even at my job, I do, on my break, I'll go around for a walk. If I have 15 minutes, I'm going for a walk. If I have a 35-minute, 45-minute break, I go for a walk. Even when I get off, like during the daytime at my job, I'll go for a walk because it's a perfect little walking track or a perfect parking lot to walk in. So, yeah, cute little cardio, boom, bam, turkey and ham, you're done. All I'm saying, Buttercup, is you don't need 20,000 steps. You need a plan that respects your time, honors your body, and keeps you consistent. And that's just simply how you win, Buttercup. Do what works for you. And then do what works for your body right now. Because maybe right now you're a couch potato. And the most you can do is 4,000 steps. But I would rather you do your 4,000 steps, keep your nutrition in track, doing some resistance training, at least 3 times a week, and staying consistent in that. And in each week, maybe go up by 500 steps. You can march in place. That's something that I've been doing lately, is just marching in place. Or we have stairs. So what I'll do is I'll take my cup upstairs, then I'll go back downstairs to get my purse. Then I come back upstairs. So it's just like little cute ways where I'm just adding it in without making it a job. Without making it out, okay, I gotta do all these steps. And then also with the weather, if it's super hot, I'm letting you know, I'm not going outside. If it's super hot, I'm not going out there. I'm just not. If it's raining, I'm not walking. I will walk around in the house, but I'm not going outside to walk. I'm just letting you know. So, yes. But anyway, I have rambled enough. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section, have you done 20K steps? Is that your, what's your step goal? Let's talk about it. All right. So y'all already know. Until next time, Buttercup, make sure you are minding your business and tending to your own business. Mind and tend to the business that pays you. And if it does not pay you, Buttercup, then you definitely need to be minding your own business, which is drinking your green juice, going for your walk, and meal prepping your food, because it is a sign of self-love. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.